Hi everyone, welcome back to another tutorial today. In today's video, we're going to learn how to make this beautiful dress that has a drape by the side and also a basque waistline with a queen and neckline, okay, with all the details that you can see. I'll teach you how to draft the pattern with detailed explanation on how you can go about the sewing. Okay, so let's head straight to it. So firstly, you'll be needing your basic bodice front and also you'll be needing your basic bodice back, right? So I'll go ahead to set my back aside so we can work on the front. Please do well to listen attentively so you get all the details possible. Now the details of this basic bodice is your bust point, right? Your under bust, which is not actually really necessary, your waistline, your hip, your knee, and then of course your hem, wherever you want your dress to stop. Okay, so when you have all these details on your basic bodice front, the next thing we're going to work on is on the neckline. As you can see, the neckline is a queen and neckline. So I'm going inwards by 1 inch on my shoulder. Then the depth, I'm marking 2.5 inches. These measurements are optional. You can do whatever you want. And from that 2.5 inches mark, I'm going inwards again like so by 3 inches. Like I said, the measurements are for me. You can do whatever you want to do. I'll square a line like so, then connect that 1 inch at the shoulder to the 3 inches point that went inwards. At that point, I found out that the shoulder is a bit inwards. I decided to use half an inch. Also, if your 1 inch is okay, you can use it. Now I need a slanting line. That is why I went outwards by half an inch, okay? This is the way your queen and neckline shape should look like, slanty and then come outwards, you get? So now because we are cutting out this part, we are going to contour. If not, it will gap. It's going to gap, right? So the contour guideline we're going to be marking is a neckline contour guideline. On your neckline, you're going to be marking a straight line like so, connecting to the bust points. Now, I'm going to be drawing in my bust arc, which is the distance between your bust point and your under bust. Okay, so whatever it is, you have to impute it on that contour line. That is where your dart will sit on. Now, on top of that bust arc, I'm going to be marking my ½ inch dart, and we're going to be connecting it like so. At this point, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do want to subscribe. Click the bell notification icon so you'll be the very first person to know whenever I post lovely tutorials like this. You can also go ahead to share this sewing tutorial or the link to platforms where you know it to be needed. Also, go ahead to check other sewing tutorials that we have on the channel that will be very useful to you. Thank you. So now I'm going to head to contour. The next thing I'm going to do is to cut open my side bust darts. So having cut open my side bust dart, I am going to be transferring that contour dart to my side bust dart, thereby closing the contour dart so we can close up whatever it is, the excesses that are going to gap at our queen and neckline. And look at the way I am closing it. I'm going to have to transfer the dart to the side bust dart. So with my sellotape, I'll go ahead now to tape it down. Now you can see that the line of the queen and neckline shifted a bit. I had to redraw it, then we'll go ahead to cut it out. So having cut it out, this is what it looks like. Can you see? This is what it looks like. Can you see the queen and neckline effect or the design? This is what it looks like. Now the next thing we are going to consider is this is my waistline. We are going to consider the Basque effect. From my hip, I came down by 1 inch. Now this is optional. You can decide to stop at your hip line. You can decide to come down by 1 inch. Just technically do something that is going to look beautiful. Do not come too down so it doesn't look bad or weird. Okay, do something that is going to look good. So from your waistline, remember waistline, you connect it to that point. Okay, where you have your Basque effect from your waistline, like a curve, you connect it to that point where you have your Basque effect, and then I'm going ahead to cut it out. So we'll set this part aside so we can work on this part. The only thing we are doing here is to cut open our waist darts, right? We'll just have to cut it open because you're going to be stitching your side bust dart and of course your waist dart. You can check a lot of my tutorials where I did these stitchings. It's not hard. Just place it on your fabric and mark it out with your chalk or your erasable pen, whatever on your fabric, then you sew at that point. Okay, so I'm cutting that dart open and this is what the front of it looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like. I'll set it aside and we work on the lower part of the front. Now this is the lower part of the front. There are so many ways you can achieve this. Okay, you can decide to use a cowl, but I'm not going to be using a cowl effect here. Okay, so firstly from this point I went up by 2.5 inches. Okay, you can use 3 inches. I went up by 2.5 inches. And now from this point, I'm going to be measuring all the way down to about 8 or 9 inches. Yours can be different, okay? And then from this point also, I'm going to be measuring down about 4 inches or 4.5, okay? Now I want a slant line effect. I want my lines to be slanty, okay? My slash and spreaded lines, the lines I'm going to be slashing and spreading, I want them to be kind of slanty. That was why I used 10 inches and 8 inches, sorry, and 4 inches, or 9 inches and 4.5 inches. So I'm drawing out the slash lines now, and this is what they look like. Like I said, if you want to use the curl effect, I'll just drop a comment in the comment section, and I will drop a link to the curl effect of this type of tutorial so you can see what it looks like, okay? But for this tutorial, we're using this method, and trust me, it's going to work out very nice. If you do it exactly the way I am doing it now, you have the same result. So now I'm going ahead to slash and spread my lines, and this is what I am doing right now. I'm cutting open the slash lines. I'm gonna have to slash and spread them out. This is what it looks like. Remember, the more you open up the slash and spread, the more full your gathers will be. All right, the more full you're going to be having your drapes. If you spread it out more, the more you're going to be having that full part at the basque waist effect. And also you need more fabric, okay? So I spread it out like so. I just eyeballed it. There's no measurement for my spreading out, but if you need the measurement, you can spread out by 2 inches apart, or 1.5 inches apart, or 1 inch apart, depending on the number of fabric you have and how full you want it to be. Now from my knee line, I'm going to be ruling a line, sorry. For my knee line, I'll be ruling a line all the way down. Okay, you can use half, you can divide that knee line by 2 in 2, and on the half of it, you're going to be drawing that line all the way down. So at that point of the knee line, I'll be cutting it towards the side seam, please, not the center front, towards the side seam. We are trying to create this kind of fish effect or mermaid dress effect. Do you get? So that's what we're trying to create now. I went ahead to tape it down. I added a fresh pattern paper underneath, and I went ahead to tape it down, okay? So this is what it looks like. I'm cutting out the excesses by the side. So now to have that rounded shape, what you're going to do is to take the measurement of your original pattern, which is the white one. I have 14 inches. Yours can vary, your measurements can vary. So you want to make sure that 14 inches is going all the way around. If yours is 30, if yours is 15, if yours is 50, whatever it is, make sure that it is going all the way around. By so doing, you're going to be having that rounded effect. It's not going to be straight, it's going to be round. Do you get? So that is what I'm doing right now. So after doing that, I'm going to be cutting out the excesses that we do not need. So now this is what it looks like, and we're not done. If you check the one that we are recreating, you'll find out that the center front looks like it has some sort of fullness on it. So we're going to be adding that fullness. Now from this point, I'm going to be rolling a line or drawing the line all the way down to the hem. So now at the hem, I decided to check how much of inches I want to use, and I decided to use 1.5. You can use 2 inches, you can use 3, whatever is left for you, but I think 3 is enough. So I used 1.5, and then I'm going ahead now to rule the line to connect it back to this point. So after ruling the line, to add more fullness, I'm going to be cutting so I can slash and spread for more fullness. Now, the reason you're doing this is you want that fullness at the center front. Okay, from the one we're recreating, it looks like the center front has more fullness. Okay, it's not just the regular mermaid, it's not looking straight, it has some kind of drape effect. Okay, so this is the only way we can achieve that, by slashing and spreading. So you can decide to slash and spread yours more than these two that I cut out. You can decide to use 4, whatever. You can decide to slash and spread more. Okay, but I'm doing this just to show you that this is the basic. This is the basic foundation. So you can decide to add more slash and spread if you want more fullness, right? It will still work out and it will still come out beautiful. This is the basic. So I'm going ahead now to slash and spread this way on a fresh pattern paper. I've slashed and I'm spreading out on a fresh pattern paper like so. So for this spread, you can decide to use 2 inches or 3 inches. Remember, the more inches you add, the more fabric you're going to consume. And for the center front, you can also decide to add more of the pink pattern, meaning you can decide to add more of the pink pattern to the center front, right? Because you're not cutting it on fold, all right? You're not cutting the center front of the lower part of the front on fold. So this is what the front looks like. I'll set it aside and we work on the back. Now this is my back bodice. This is my back basic bodice. I have my chest line for the back, my waist, my hip, my knee, and of course the hem for the back. Now this is my waistline, and on the waistline I am going to be cutting it out like so, straight. I am not basking the back. We are cutting it out straight. We are not going to bask the back. We only basked the front. We are not going to bask the back. So now this is what it looks like. Now, do you remember that we removed 1/2 inch from our shoulder of the front? We'll do the same thing to the back. So while we are stitching, the front and the back are in uniform. Okay, so we'll remove 1/2 inch also, and I'm going to be connecting. You can choose whatever depth you want for your back neckline. I'm using 1/2 inch. You can use whatever style of back neckline you want. Just make sure the shoulder, you remove the same amount you removed from the front. So when you're stitching them up, they are going to align. Now the next thing we're going to do is to cut open our dart, because we'll stitch it on our fabric. You have to cut it open on your pattern, so you can use your chalk or your erasable pen to transfer it to the fabric so you can stitch it up. Now this is all for the upper part of the back. I'll set it aside and we'll go ahead to work on the lower part of the back, which is actually very simple. Now on your knee line for the lower part of the back, you're going to be drawing a line at the center like so, all the way to the hem. So this is what it looks like, and then we'll go ahead to open it up like so, just like the way we did for the front. Okay, I'll get a fresh pattern paper and then I will spread it out on the front. Okay, so now you have to know the number of inches you need for the spreading. So I brought the front to check how many inches I used to spread for the front, and it was about 4 inches. So you're going to be using the same thing for the back, except you can decide to use more for your back or more for the front. But I feel like using the same thing for both front and back. If you use more for the back, that's okay. You can also decide to add tail to your back. Okay, that is very much okay. But I decided to use the same thing. So if you use more for your back, it's totally acceptable. It's going to be nice also. I'm using my sellotape now to hold everything down in place. So now also we are going to be checking the length, so we can through it all the way around, just like we did for the front, to have that rounded hem, effect. Now, like I said, if you want to use the cowl method, okay, it will have to go into the back pattern, all right? You can go ahead to check, or if you want to use the cowl method or you want to see what the cowl method looks like, do want to drop a comment in the comment section, and I will drop links of videos that has basque waist with cowl side effect, okay? So you can try that. But this method I used is totally beautiful and it's nice if you do it exactly the way that I've explained in this tutorial. Now I'm going ahead to cut open. Also, do not forget that at the center back, you can decide to add more fullness. Okay, at the center back, you can decide to add more fullness so it flows out well. But if you do it this way, it's also going to come out nice. So the dart that went into the skirt part of it or the lower part of the back, you go ahead to cut it open because you will also be stitching it up so you can have your feet. This is what the back and front pattern looks like. All right, this is what the back and front pattern looks like. It's actually very simple. I can't wait to see the recreation of you guys for this very particular tutorial. So this is what it looks like if you gather it into the basque. Can you see? This is what the front looks like if you gather it into the basque waist for the front. All right, so do well to recreate this design. Do well to, follow up this up. You can go ahead to recreate it and do well to give me feature photos or samples of what you've made. I can't wait to see what you've made and how beautiful it came out. This is also the back. I'm trying to align the front and the back. This is the upper part of the back. So here are all the pieces put together for this very particular tutorial. It's actually very simple. Here are all the pieces put together, okay? This is what it looks like, all the pieces for this tutorial put together. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next